All right, Whitlock, did Harden validate why he was my pick for the MVP?
I think he helped your argument is what he did. He did do that. And
I drove to work this morning knowing that.
Look, I love James Harden, just the way he handled that. Look, it's playoff time. I like James Harden. James Harden, I will make the argument, is a better player than Russell Westbrook.
I agree.
But Russell Westbrook is still the MVP of the regular season.
Right.
And so this is a one-off game. I think at some point during this season, this is going to reverse. Westbrook will have a big game, Harden will be off, and we'll be sitting there, did so-and-so validate the MVP? The MVP thing, just like James Harden said, is over. They had 82 games to prove that. Is James Harden a better player than Russell Westbrook? Probably. Okay. In the D'Antoni system.
By the way, I used this on my radio show today. When I was a kid growing up, loved Dr. J, and he was way more explosive. Then Larry Bird came in the league and was a better shooter, a better rebounder, and a way better passer. Everybody still kind of loved Dr. J, but Bird was a better player. Like, I know Russell Westbrook is like Dr. J. He's just more interesting to watch at times than James Harden, who kind of slithers. But can I say this?
Dr. J into this, man.
I like Dr. J.
You forget Dr. J was MVP of the ABA, but that's going.
But here's my point. I like great players are consistent. Okay, consistency. 38 times this year, Russell Westbrook shot under 40%. Dude, it's a fireworks show. And sometimes they all go off.
80 times, or how many ever games he played, 81 times, he was under the most pressure to perform out of any player in the NBA.
Oh, pressure. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
pressure. Harden's got no pressure.
I'm not saying he's got none.
You
I
know,
didn't say
to me, Westbrook, I like Westbrook, but I like ice cream. Now, I'm lactose tolerant. There's a lot of people not lactose tolerant. You know, for those not lactose, they like ice cream, but there's a side effect to ice cream that they might not like. But they're willing to eat the ice cream. But when the ice cream goes bad on that person, it looks like, yes. So last night was not a one-off. That's what he looks like when he looks bad. And if you really like basketball and you like the optics, you can't like turning the ball over. There's nothing more precious than possession of the basketball. And his first 4 or 5 turnovers, you would act like he was thinking this is an NBA All-Star game or something. Like, that's no big deal. I mean, he's trying to thread passes. He's careless with the basketball. Those are the things, Colin, I can really, really understand. And when you get to the playoffs, you would think he would be more careful, and he was actually less careful with the basketball.
I think what we saw from Russell Westbrook is Russell Westbrook. He's a sheer force of will guy. He's going to make it happen come hell or high water, and sometimes it's not going to happen. And credit Houston, who's not known for their defense, doing a great job of clogging the lane and ganging up on him and making him shoot three-point shots, which is the weakness to his offensive game. But the reason he's going to win the MVP, and we all admit he's going to win the MVP, right?
Yes.
Whether he should or he shouldn't, he's the most, and I would agree with you, he's not the best player in the NBA. LeBron's the best player. Harden's a better all-around offensive player, but it's the consistency of effort at both ends of the floor. It's the leadership, even if it's a different way of leadership than I would lead, than you would lead, than Chris, you would lead. Like, we're doing it my way, and we're doing it my way, and that's the end of it. So he's a Kobe Bryant type of leader. He's a sheer force of will guy, and that's what it looks like when you get the bad Westbrook. When you get the good Westbrook, he throws in 50, and everybody starts going, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
But before the game, he says, you know, my dad taught me is my best friend on the court's the ball.
Great point.
And that, listen, that in a nutshell is what drives me crazy. Listen, I grew up with you needed 2 players to win a title. And then all of a sudden, the guys go to Boston and Miami, it's 3. Now you could argue it's 4. Like I'm best friends with the basketball. That's why KD left. Like, that's a bad sign.
It was a great explanation of his personality and the way he plays.
Yes.
No,
I was like, wow, I can understand that.
You also have to understand, though, in terms of the mentality.
Wide receiver mentality.
And there's that, what his dad taught him. And the fact, his first year at UCLA, he averaged 9 minutes a game. You know, he was always thought to be the Robin to Batman. Now he's given his own team. And being in Oklahoma City and having worked there and lived there, I know that they're still kind of gun-shy because of what happened with Kevin Durant. Remember, Kevin Durant was terrible against the Grizzlies, and they called him Mr. Unreliable?
Yeah.
Everybody freaked out. You can't say that about Durant. Now Durant leaves, like, whoa, we got to be super nice to Russell Westbrook.
That makes sense.
Right? And so they're just feeding them on. Russell has a bad game, it's everybody else's fault. Russell has a good game, he's the reason
Well, they've
we're winning
lost
games.
Harden and Durant. It's what you would call a small market, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So there is a sense like, we're going to give him whatever he wants. And if we have to boost his rebound numbers a little,
Yeah,
we're
you
going
made
to
a
do
great
it.
point earlier on Colin's radio show talking about the general manager.
Sam Presti.
Man, he deserves some blame for this.
Well, it's ownership and the general manager. But, like, you can't watch that game and not think, like, wait, didn't they used to be on the same team?
Yeah.
And then you go and you watch yesterday and you watch Kevin Durant, like, did they all used to be? Wait, they had all three of those guys? And they traded him away for Kevin Martin because he won a little bit more money. Like, if they would have paid all three of those guys, they were in one NBA Finals, they would have been in several NBA. That's changed the dynamic of the NBA history simply by trading James Harden, and no one criticizes Sam Presti.
Great day for you yesterday. One guy played like the basketball's his best friend, and the other guy played like the MVP didn't matter and winning is the only thing that mattered. Great day.